everybody. Welcome back. We're back to over the weekend. It's been a long break, but we're back to the second season of our great music and great artists, great chats that we've been having. And I had to go back and I had to go to the roots and I had to find someone that I can bring on for the fucking premiere. Today we're joining a rising star out of the concrete jungle, and not the city of Toronto, actually. Believe it or not, we're now going to New York City. He's been making Afrobeats since he was 12, and now he's actually jumping onto his second album, City of Love 2, captivating audience with that soulful sound, captivating audience with that good old drum and beats. And it's not an overnight success. So this is what we want to figure out right now. This man's been grinding, and he's actually taking the world by storm, making sure everybody notices him. And in fact, man, the Dallas Voyage magazine's got on him. He got airtime in Tanzania. He's got airtime on EFM radio. Dude, let's get it. We got Mr. Kel Domo, and he's providing us with the talent and the drive from himself to us. And he's on the podcast now, and we want to learn all about it. Mr. Kel, wagwan, bro.
What's going on? Wagwan.
Another day in paradise. Now that we're here, I wanted to know, firstly, before we get into this, fucking what did you do over the weekend?
I had a performance at a club called Circle down in Dallas. That's actually where I'm based out of, Dallas, Texas. I had a performance over the weekend in Dallas, and then at Circle, and then had some studio session for the album on Sunday. So that's really just been a bunch of work, music work, over the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. You just gotta be taking care of yourself, and I guess you were out there for the longest time, and I guess you're back to the jungle now, or are you still out in Dallas?
No, I'm still in Dallas, still staying out here in the Dallas area.
Believe it or not, y'all got it really good right now, because I'm pretty sure out here it's about we're going on -40 now, -42. Yeah, I'm not happy about it. Today we had 3 different types of weather. We had rain, hail, and a little bit of sun. And I was like, dude, Mother Nature must be on her period right now, because how the hell are you gonna have all those 3 things at the same time?
That's wild. That sounds like Texas weather, except Texas weather is more unpredictable. It'll go from like rain to like sun to like it's just weird, right? It's almost like there's no seasons. It's hot to cold.
just flashes, eh?
Yeah, basically.
Usually at this time of year, this is the time where I say it's time to leave and get the fuck out of this weather and just go as warm as you can.
I mean, it's so hot here in Texas that honestly, I like when it gets cooler, just because it gets so hot over here. So I actually fuck with when it gets cooler. I don't really like it too hot, so the cooler weather is okay.
Okay, well then in that case, one day you might as well come to Canada before it gets too snowy.
I used to live in Canada for about 3 years.
Actually?
Yeah, in Calgary.
Okay, so now I understand. That makes sense. Yeah. So you understand the madness. You understand cold.
Yep.
So I guess that was almost too much when it came to it.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. That's why when people here complain, I'm like, y'all haven't seen cold yet.
Exactly. Y'all laughed at me.
Exactly.
Well, let's get to it, man. Tell me the hero's journey. Tell me your story, because we already spoke about how you started very, very young in your music career. And then after that, around 15, 16 was when you actually launch padded the whole thing. So let's give us a rundown from there till now.
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, I started, I'll say I figured out I had the passion for it when I was really young, probably elementary school, actually, have a funny story. I tried to do a talent show at school singing One Direction. And the only reason why I didn't do the performance is because I missed the tryout. I remember I cried, but looking back at it now, I probably would have still been bullied to this day. So I'm glad that, that didn't happen. But the point I'm trying to make is I knew I had a love for it, but basketball is my earliest love. And so at the time, those two were conflicting. I didn't want, I wanted to be a basketball player. I didn't really want, music to take over that. So I didn't really take music that seriously until eventually around high school, like you said, around the age 15, 16, where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just do both. I love both, I'm gonna do both. And eventually the passion for music took over, and, that's kind of how it ended up starting, started off with just the rapping, on some J. Cole, lyrical kind of Lamar kind of vibes, and then the singing developed, and then Afrobeats developed around 2022. So now it's a fusion of all of it, Afro R&B.
Yeah. So you're saying then you started with a little bit of R&B, and now you're currently going into Afrobeats.
No, I started as a rapper. So I started as talking about Eminem was my favorite. Like my first, he's actually the artist that got me into wanting to write songs. So Eminem, then, obviously J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake, all those. So I was rapping. Then the singing kind of developed. Then I was doing both, kind of like the sing rapping, like on some Drake timing. And then that's the Afrobeat started after that, 2022, where I really started to embrace the roots and then combine it all together to where the sound is.
What made you think that this is the path I need to take now?
When it comes to music?
When it came to transitioning from rap to Afro.
It's actually a funny story. So it was an accident. My homeboy, his name is B-Lone, he randomly called me one day. At the time when he was making music, he wasn't really taking it that seriously. So he would just send me tracks periodically as like a joke, just for fun. And he'd be like, he was randomly like, yo, I'm an Afrobeats artist now. And I was like, huh? And then he sent me a song and it was actually really good. And I was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I always liked to dabble in sounds, and I knew I could do Afrobeats. So I was kind of like, kind of inspired me, like, yo, let's do like a tape. It was like a joke. Let's do like a little Afrobeats tape. But within a week, we were like, hey, the tape's done. And then we look back and we're like, yo, this is terrible. So then we sit down and actually take time to develop it. And that's what birthed City of Love. And what's funny is that nobody knew we were working on it. It was a complete curveball. No one knew we were working on an Afro project. And then when we made the announcement, everyone was like, Afrobeats, like, huh? Like, they were skeptical. Then it came out, it did its thing, and it's, to me, that's a classic Kel Domo classic. City of Love 1, and then now City of Love 2 is out. So that's kind of what birthed it.
And it's pretty crazy, actually, because I listened to the whole City of Love before this whole interview, and I was like, I listened to it again. And I was like, dude, this sounds like you've been doing this for years, not for fucking 2 years. I was like, it does not sound like you've been doing this for 2 years. No way.
Yeah.
So I'm very impressed on how it sounds like right now. However, when it comes to it, I guess it's like a fast process when it came to the transition, or was it like you kind of figured it out? Because believe it or not, when you think about it, Afrobeat singers is kind of like, a Starbucks barista in Seattle, there's a lot of them. So how did you come out of the crowd? How did you come out of the woodworks to separate yourself from both rap and the rest?
Well, it's actually interesting. So I'm from Tanzania. My family's from Tanzania in Africa, right? I was born and raised in the United States, but our roots are from Tanzania. So for me, I always was really good at I was very versatile early on, rapping and singing, there's so much I could do with it because I have so many influences. So it really wasn't hard to adapt to the Afrobeat sound. It was just really just like, I heard the beat, okay, boom, I'm gonna do this melody, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna focus that. That's not to say that I've improved over the years, but to kind of get where we were in the beginning, that one wasn't too hard to do. What kind of separated it though was the fact that, again, it's the fact that I'm like literally African American. You see what I'm saying? So when Africans hear the Afrobeats, they can kind of hear the American influence. They can kind of hear the rap because it's like you're like singing with like a flow, kind of.
Yeah.
When Americans hear it, they hear the accent, the melodies, whatever it is. So they hear Afrobeats. So someone I used to know, he used the word. They used to say, T-Pain rapper turned singer. That's basically what it seemed like to him in the beginning. Like you could tell I had some sort of rap, but now I mixed the melody into it. So that's kind of what separated it. But to kind of just make that transition, it was pretty simple. I just tried it. To be honest.
You're literally doing the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Son of a. See, I do art. I do art as well. I do a different type of art. I do a lot of drawing. I do a lot of graphic design work. So whenever I see somebody able to use like their lyricism in full, I'm always like, God damn it! I wish I could learn a fucking instrument at the least. Give me a fucking instrument. Give me a goddamn bass at least.
Yeah.
But many artists find their voices, intimidating by other people, or maybe you want to and then like other artists as well. Do you happen to have somebody that you looked up to at the beginning and now you're doing it on your own, or
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think there's no such thing as there's originality, but there's not like an original idea. What I mean by that is everyone's inspired by somebody. You see what I'm saying? For me in the beginning, like I said, Eminem was the person that got me into music. Like I knew all the Eminem albums, whatever it is. Like that's really all I listened to. Then my biggest influence I would say is, Eminem, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, obviously Drake. Tory Lanez was a big one for me too. When I first started kind of getting into singing, that was a big one, like a big one.
And he's our Toronto man too. He's our Toronto man.
Yeah. A Boogie with a Hoodie was, somebody too as well when it came to the sing rapping. Then when I started transitioning to Afrobeats, obviously there's Burna Boy and Rema. Stevie Wonder is a big influence of mine too. We probably do a whole podcast just on the influences if I start going deep.
I was literally like, okay, let's start talking about the new Kendrick album. Let's start talking about the new J. Cole album. But then we end up being here for literally like 2 fucking hours.
That's what I'm saying. But like the influences are all over the place. Rotimi, I love Rotimi. He's not too many people know too much about him, but he's like if you've seen Power, he was Dre from Power. Trevor Jackson, if you've seen Let It Shine, that's a big influence of mine too. So yeah, like I said, I just take from everybody. Chris Brown. There's so many. There's so many. Michael Jackson. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about this for a minute if I keep going. But you can tell I'm a fan of music. I'm a fan of music. So
okay, true sound file. So is it all music? Like because a lot of the tracks in the music I listen to at this point right now is a lot of electronic, a lot of house music, a lot of lo-fi house music, a lot of deep music. So have you ever dabbled in that? Have you ever thought about maybe I can lend my voice in this genre?
Yeah, I have a friend, another dope artist. His name is Kieran. He had done some, and I met him when I went to school in San Antonio, but he's another dope artist. He lives in Texas, but he's from the UK and from Nigeria. But he had dabbled in music. And, for me, the EDM that I like personally is like the one that kind of sounds like pop, like, 2014 pop music kind of.
Yeah.
The pop songs that have the EDM breakdowns. I could do something like that. I really firmly believe I could do any genre if I put my mind to it. But the ones that catch my ear are like those type of ones, like kind of like the album Drake put out too, the EDM album he put out, the house music stuff like that.
Yeah, it kind of just came out. The songs with Gordo and Disclosure kind of deal. Disclosure Sam Smith, like Latch. Yeah. I don't let you in my space. Yeah. But instead of doing that, you throw in the Afrobeats beats type in there and fucking equals profit.
Yeah. This. I could go. Yeah, I could definitely see myself in that world too.
Yeah, absolutely. All it takes is one step into the right direction, and then who knows what it can be. Even fucking Major Lazer. Like Major Lazer is 100% like reggae, but there's 100% as well electronic sounds in there, and somehow he mixes both the best of both worlds. But I guess it's also a white guy and a black guy, so that helps out a lot too. That's true. Do you have to have a most embarrassing song in your playlist? A song that you always go to, maybe, or something that's like can't tell anybody that I like this song.
A song of my own that I'm embarrassed of, or just a song like in general?
No, a song in general.
No, and the reason why I say that is because any song I like, I don't care. I'll play Moana, like I'll play You're Welcome. I'll play. I was in the gym just like maybe 30 minutes before this, bumping One Last Time by Ariana Grande. I don't care. Like, I enjoy the song. You know what I'm saying? I'm still standing. The movie Sing. There's a song that I'm still standing. Obviously that's Elton John, but like I'd be playing like the movie soundtrack version of it. Just like I don't I don't care at all.
See,
like,
that's a special one. That's very intricate. When people like listen, that there is a niche for people that love listening to movie soundtracks and songs from movies. There's literally an actual niche of people that do that. I'm more into the anime section where like I would listen to the anime intro over and over and over and over again.
And it's like for me, I'm not the biggest anime guy. Like I tried to get into it, but I don't know why. It's always been a disconnect. But there's a couple. There's really one, to be honest. That like I can say two that I can say I enjoy. There's Yu Yu Hakusho, which I saw on accident. My brother randomly showed it to me one day. Or my sibling showed it to me one day, and I ended up watching it like the whole day. But the biggest one, some people say it's overrated. To me, it's the best one of all time. Is Dragon Ball Z. People say it's overrated, is what it is, but I'll listen to those intros, those soundtracks, OST, whatever you call it. Sonic, it's like Sonic, like
Sonic Underground.
Yeah, I listen to this like now you just not I gotta go listen to that.
Hold on a second.
Like these songs bring back memories of my childhood. That's why I like it. So I have no problem, listening to these songs. I was bumping Austin and some songs from Austin and Alley. You know about like Disney Channel, so I don't care.
Anything that makes the actual brain jog and makes it impossible to actually do something, like no questions asked. Mm-hmm. What about the music industry? Do you got a portion of the music industry that frustrates you the most?
No. There's like aspects of the media in general that frustrates me, but it doesn't frustrate me per se. It's more so that I just try to tune out of it because I feel like when you give it too much attention, it can literally ruin either your perception of the world or just your overall mood. I don't want to feed into it.
Tell us more about that. Tell us more about the media.
Yeah, it's more so just like, the things in the culture now. Like, people that, there's a lot of division, there's, you see a lot of weird, like, everybody got a podcast, and that's cool, but people be saying weird things on podcasts. And if you pay, like I have, some people will say like hot takes on podcasts that have to do with, whether it's dating or whatever it is, or, people be too wrapped up in celebrities' lives or whatever. And if you look at the comment section, everybody is getting like, heated, mad, whatever it is. And I'm like, I was having a good day before I saw this, right? Am I really gonna let this random person on here who probably represents maybe a small percentage of whatever ruin my perception of a whole demographic of people, or ruin my perception of, or just ruin my day in general? Like I have people who will send me stuff and be like, this just pissed me off. And I'm like, damn, I was having a good day and a video just ruined it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm above it. Like I'll see things too and I'll be like, yeah, see, this is why I don't, rock with this or whatever it is. But I just have to kind of tell myself, hey, this is what the media does, you know what I'm saying? So that's really what I don't like. I call it like low vibrational activity. You see something, it just ruins your whole, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say bothers me, and there's probably stuff in the music industry that applies to that, but just, I call it the media in general.
Yeah, man, absolutely. What about the remedy for that? When somebody sends you some bullshit, like a weird ass meme or something that's ruining your day, as like you just said, what do you do to fight back after?
Let me be clear, right? I love memes. You know what I'm saying? You can send me like a meme that's like funny with it. Like I don't have issues with memes, right? It's like the divisive content, like the stuff, someone getting on a podcast, it's getting on a podcast and saying something crazy, whatever it is. I just kind of like double tap it, or I just watch it and be like, yeah, I just reply to it or whatever it is. I mean, like I don't really get like hostile. Like I don't let it actually, get an emotion out of me, or I try not to. But, you can I'm just saying it's easy to find yourself in a rabbit hole where you're scrolling and, you're just seeing content after content after content, A lot of these shows, the Pop the Balloon shows, whatever it is, like, these are entertaining to watch. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to act like I'm above all these. I watch them too, but you'll have somebody say something crazy and you're just like, this is why I don't. And then you find yourself getting emotionally wrapped up in something that doesn't even involve you. You know what I'm saying? When in reality, I just tell myself, hey, that's why I just don't deal with people like that. Or that's why I don't do things like this. Like, I don't let it ruin my perception of the dating market or the world or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't let it affect me to that core, but people will literally, it'll just ruin their whole perception of everything. And I'm just like,
reality, life.
Yeah.
They end up going ghost for a few days.
Yeah. Or they just get so wrapped up in it and they start, it's a rabbit hole, bro. It's a rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying?
See, and that's why we kind of have to be how we are right now. Take care of ourselves. We live our own life, and people just vicariously come in, or they'll just come in naturally because they understand that we're enjoying ourselves. And that really resonates and says a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, let's continue. Essentially, when I was listening to the album earlier, I thought to myself, this is a sequel. This is the City of Love 2. Was there like a dramatic breakup involved in City of Love 1 that made you have to get into number 2, or was it just all right? This is the second iteration.
It's really just the second iteration. Now, I mean, like I was in a relationship when City of Love. I actually made the relationship official 2 days before the album dropped. The City of Love 1 dropped.
Oh,
and that was like 2 years ago, right? So now, going on 3 actually, going on 2. The relationship lasted for a year, but anyways, but yeah, obviously the relationship ended, when City of Love 2 was, came out, almost a year, ended for almost a year. But the point I'm trying to make is the breakup didn't inspire City of Love. Now, relationship stuff does inspire some of the songs, don't get me wrong, but the reason why we did City of Love 2 is purely because of the series, the story, the things of that nature. But you take your life experiences and you pour those into the songs to give you the content that's in City of Love. So, yeah, I don't know if that answers that question.
City of Love is truly just a love child of the first one.
Yes, it's truly the second iteration of, it's like the sequel of the first one, because the first one was received so well. So yeah, we just had to do it 2, and then there might be a 3, there might be a 4, there might be a 5.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
It looks like the first 2 is also with your boy as well, D-Lone. I believe so. Yeah. So when it comes to it, then I guess you guys truly are like really, really good friends when it comes to it. Or he was really just a person that put you on, and because of that, you're like, dude, you gotta keep going.
That's my brother. That's like my, blood probably couldn't make us closer. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. You know what I'm saying? We've been rocking with each other for, now it's probably been going on 7 years, you know what I'm saying, of this friendship, this brotherhood. It got to a certain point where, like, if I had a song, the first person I think to put on it was Bilo, you know what I'm saying? So there's no City of Love without, Kel Domo and Bilo, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's forever going to be, God willing, a joint project. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that there will definitely be a part 3 when it comes to it. Let's just wait. Unless there's something else in the pipeline, like what do you got going on right now? What do you got planning? Is there anything you can tell us? Any secrets that you can reveal?
Yeah, so I will be 100% honest with you. There is a album that I've been working on for the past, probably about 2 or 3 years, called Love Me. Right, that's definitely gonna come out before any City of Love 3 or something like that comes out. I might put out an EP or something before then, but this album is special, and the reason why, this actually was inspired by a breakup. It was, but more so inspired by what I learned through it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's called Love Me, right? Like with a question mark and a period. Because the album, when I first started making it, was right after I actually started making it while I was in the relationship, just making songs that had to do with what I was talking about. Then when the breakup happened, obviously you're going through it and people are like, oh, the album's gonna be fire, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not thinking about music right now, but I was like, okay, might as well put the emotion somewhere. And the first song I put out was a song called Anybody, which was, it's not how I felt in the moment. The moment I didn't feel anything positive, but it was like a message for myself, like I'm declaring, hey, there's gonna be a day where you feel what you're saying in these lyrics, so you're gonna speak into existence. that's what inspired the love to me to work on the album. I was like, okay, I'm gonna talk about this relationship. I'm gonna get my feelings out. I'm gonna vent. I'm gonna talk about what she did, whatever it is. Boom, boom. I'm gonna talk about what I did too, whatever. It was like purely about the relationship. Then as it progressed, and the healing process is going, I started to realize, I truly never had actual self-love for myself my entire life. I never knew. And a lot of things that happened in my life were a product of that lack of self-love. So I started going to therapy and learning how to do that. So then the album became how the relationship taught me how to really, how I, basically the journey to loving yourself, right? So then it became talking about that. Yeah. Then it transitioned to me talking to other people who also don't actually, a lot of young guys don't have, true self-love or confidence, and it affects so many things. And so then it became, okay, now this album's bigger than me. Now this is teaching other young men and young people out there, and people in general, this is not just for young people, but people in general, how important it is to love yourself, how I came to that journey. I'm still on the journey to this day, but just how important that is. So it became bigger than just a breakup album. This is like, a message out there that I have to put this out. So that will definitely come out before City of Love, anything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So in that ways, now, in other words, we are waiting for a little bit longer when it comes to the official reveal. But I guess the AP will come soon, allow us to, give us a break and allow us to actually listen to some good music in between then. I'm assuming it's probably going to be closer to a summer track then, probably, yeah?
Well, Love Me, I'm not going to go on record and put a date on it yet.
Yeah. TBA.
I gotta put what I gotta say what I need to on this album, so I'm not gonna rush it. But I definitely want it out sooner rather than later. Just whenever I feel like it's done, it's gonna be out there.
It's gonna come out. All right. Well, in that case, that's great to see that, because we were waiting. We want music to come by. We want something. But at this time, we have you walking around. However, when it comes to it, does your parents know this whole story? Does your family, does your friends know? Does every single person know about this growing actual career? Or is there still a person that thinks, man, you should have been a football player, you should have been a basketball player?
Everybody who's close to me knows that, knows music is a thing, right? Yeah, everybody who knows me knows I'm the music guy. I mean, unless they know me, and even this, so outside of music, I'm a personal trainer. I teach kickboxing. I've been doing that for going on 6 years now. Not coaching. I've been training for about 6 years, but coaching for about 2. So even those people who know me from the fitness side of things know that, music is a part of my identity. So everybody knows me, knows that music is the end goal. And actually, that fitness journey ties into the album as well. Because part of the lack of self-love is the lack of confidence. You see what I'm saying? And, I started to realize, and that's a long story in itself, but the point I'm trying to make is I started like a weight loss challenge, because I was about 360 pounds, earlier this year. And I've lost 50 pounds, and I'm still, like I said, but when I talk about how everything is tied into like learning how to love yourself, like being healthy is the biggest form of doing that. And so, everything is tied into that. There's a weight loss challenge I started for myself that I'm going to bring to the public eventually too. I'm going to show y'all how I've done it, and hopefully help other people, learn how to love themselves too. So yeah, everything ties back into that self-love concept. You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear that a lot.
Oh, all right then. Do you happen to have any wild fans, or maybe some crazy stories? Maybe somebody jumped on the stage, tried to steal your shoelaces,
Yeah. There's a couple. Yeah, a couple. But some of them might see this, so I don't know if I want to say. Fine. They understand, but yeah.
It is what it is. There's always somebody in the crowd that's willing to do something crazy. Again, I ran into the green room with multiple artists literally last weekend just to get these guys to get on this podcast as well. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna let this life just go by if they have their door open like that.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? As long as everyone's safe.
So I got one more question, maybe 2 more. But I wanted to know if you can put in an analogy being a city person as well, you know that it's a dog world and we gotta be animals to stay on top. So my question would be, what type of animal are you right now? And elaborate how you survive in our world.
I love that question. I would say I am a... So that's a very good question. Because I want to say gorilla just because I'm a big guy, right? You know what I'm saying? I think what's more where I am right now, though, what's more aligned with where I am is, I would say like a tiger, you know, a lion or tiger, just because, you know, I'm attacking everything I'm doing very ferociously, very, you know, aggressively. You know, I can't stress that enough that I'm attacking these goals with the utmost aggression, like it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen. And so that's kind of what I am moving with, you know, with that. The reason why I say, because sometimes it can feel like, you know, it's a lonely journey, you know, just grinding and hustling on your own. But hey, I love every moment of it because I know it's going to transpire at the end. So one of those two, but probably gorilla too, just because.
What about just like a tiger gorilla? Just call it that.
Yeah.
A black tiger or an orange gorilla.
I would say I would actually say a Black Panther. I like that more. A Black Panther.
Alright. Put you on the third movie. Denzel Washington already said it's happening. Like
make it happen.
At the end of the day, then, is there a person, or actually even better, is there like a character from the 90s, from our childhood, from nostalgia that you would love to rap with? Let's say you rap with fucking SpongeBob, rapping motherfucking Ed and Nettie, Samurai Jack.
Are you talking about like a celebrity or like a character?
A character.
Either Goku or Avatar Aang.
Son of a. Alright. That's all we need to know. In that case, that's all we got for this episode. We gotta keep it nice and short, nice and sweet. But you got anything else to say to us? You got anything else to bring up? We already know that we got to find you on Real Kel Domo on Instagram, probably on all other platforms as well. But what do you got to say for the last 30 seconds?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, like I said, self-love is the beginning of everything. You know, if you're out there, I encourage you to, you know, that's a very important journey to go on. Love Me is coming soon. That's the next album. It's the best music that you'll best music you've heard from me to this date. So stay tuned for that. You can see it on Kel Domo, Kel Domo, on all platforms when it drops.
Thank you for actually taking the time to finish this podcast, even to pick it up.